Hello, I'm Dr. Sophie Miller, and today I need to tell you about something that might be silently stealing your memories, and you don't even imagine it. There's a vitamin that almost nobody knows about, that's present in very few foods, and that can be the difference between keeping your mind sharp or losing your memories little by little. It's not vitamin D that everyone has heard about. It's not B12, which doctors always order. It's vitamin K2, and after age 60, the lack of it in your brain may be accelerating cognitive decline without you realizing. If you're over 60 years old and you've been feeling that your memory isn't what it used to be, that you forget names, appointments, or take longer to reason, pay very close attention now, because what I'm about to tell you could completely change your life. Let's talk about what's really happening inside your brain right at this moment. Vitamin K2 is one of the most neglected vitamins in all of modern medicine. And this is a tragedy because it has incredible power. While vitamin K1, which you find in green leafy vegetables, is known for its role in blood clotting, K2 has a completely different and absolutely revolutionary function for your brain. It protects your neurons from calcification and chronic inflammation. Let me explain this in a way you'll understand perfectly. As we age, our brain tends to accumulate calcium plaques in the cerebral blood vessels. Do you know what this means? This drastically reduces the flow of blood and oxygen that reaches your neurons. It's like you're suffocating your brain cells little by little, day after day. At the same time, chronic inflammation is destroying the connections between your brain cells, damaging your memory and your reasoning. It's exactly there, in that silent process, that dementia begins to take hold. Now comes the fascinating part. Vitamin K2 acts like a true sweeper inside your body. It removes calcium from the wrong places, like your arteries and your brain, and takes that calcium to the right places, like your bones, where it really should be. Can you imagine the impact of this? Beyond that, this vitamin activates specific proteins that protect your neurons from degeneration. Recent scientific studies published in the highest level medical journals show that people with adequate levels of vitamin K2 have up to 50% less risk of developing Alzheimer's and vascular dementia. 50%. This is absolutely impressive. But here's the big problem that almost nobody tells you. After age 60, your natural ability to absorb and convert vitamin K2 drops dramatically. And there's more. Very few foods contain this vitamin in the active form that your body can actually use. That's why so many people are deficient in this essential vitamin without even knowing it. Let me tell you a real story that happened in my office, and that perfectly illustrates all of this. I met Mrs. Helen, a 67-year-old woman, a retired teacher, extremely intelligent and cultured. She came to see me deeply worried because she was forgetting content from classes she had taught for over 30 years, confusing names of beloved former students, and feeling what she described as a constant mental fog. She told me it was like having a blurred curtain between her and her own memories. We did all the conventional tests, and you know what we discovered? Everything was apparently normal in the basic exams. But when I specifically ordered the vitamin K test, we discovered that her levels were extremely low, almost non-existent. Helen ate very well. She had a diet that any nutritionist would consider healthy. Lots of salad, fresh fruit every day, whole grains, everything organic. But you know what was missing? None of those foods contain vitamin K2 in the form the brain needs. She simply wasn't consuming the key foods that I'm going to show you in a moment. When we adjusted her diet and included guided and personalized supplementation, in just 8 weeks, the mental fog began to lift. In 4 months, Helen returned to teaching volunteer classes at a community library, remembering historical and literary details She thought she had lost forever. She called me crying with happiness, saying she had recovered her identity. Now comes the part you really need to write down. You can even grab paper and pen if you want, because this here is worth gold. Vitamin K2 is present in specific fermented foods and in some very particular animal-based foods. It's no use going out eating just anything, thinking you're going to solve the problem. They have to be specific foods, and I'm going to show you exactly what the 5 main ones are that you need to know about. The first of them is natto, a traditional Japanese fermented soybean that is the absolute world champion in vitamin K2 concentration. A single tablespoon per day is enough to give you the dose you need. I know the flavor is quite strong and peculiar. Many people find it strange at first, but when you understand the power it has, it's worth persisting. If you can include natto in your routine, you're using the most powerful weapon available. Can't find natto? Let's go to the second food. Fermented and aged cheeses, especially Gouda, Brie, and Edam, contain a good amount of vitamin K2. Notice that I'm talking about real cheeses, fatty ones, naturally aged, not those processed sliced cheeses you buy at the supermarket. A generous slice of Gouda per day already makes a significant difference. Do you already eat cheese? Then choose the right one. The third food is the yolk from pasture-raised eggs, but attention, it has to be an egg from free-range chickens that eat insects, plants, that live naturally. These chickens produce yolks that are true bombs of K2 and other essential nutrients. How should you consume it? Eat the yolk soft or boiled, never fried in refined vegetable oil, because excessive heat and bad oil destroy the nutrients. The fourth food surprises many people, but it's beef or chicken liver. I know many people turn up their noses at liver, I completely understand. But a small portion, just once a week, provides not only K2, but several other vitamins essential for your brain health. It's a superfood that was unjustly forgotten by modern eating. And the fifth food is ghee butter or butter from grass-fed cows, the fat from animals raised naturally, eating grass and living outdoors, concentrates vitamin K2. A teaspoon per day in your morning coffee or on brown rice already makes a measurable difference in your blood levels. Now I need to alert you about something very important so you don't fall into traps. There are foods that you probably think contain vitamin K2, but they don't. It's fundamental that you know this. Green vegetables like kale, spinach, broccoli, they have vitamin K1, which is important for other functions, but they don't have K2, which is what protects your brain. Fruits in general, even the most nutritious ones, don't have K2. Whole grains and cereals, which are great for fiber, don't have K2. Skim milk and all those light dairy products that remove the fat also don't have K2 because it's precisely in the fat that was removed. And refined vegetable oils like soybean oil, corn oil, canola oil, besides not having K2, still cause inflammation in your body. Do you understand the problem? Many people eat extremely healthy according to old and outdated standards, but continue deeply deficient in vitamin K2 because nobody ever explained where it really is. That's why I call this vitamin hidden, because it's literally hidden from the population. You must be wondering now, what really happens when you finally correct this deficiency? The results aren't instantaneous like magic, but they are absolutely consistent and verifiable. Between 6 to 12 weeks of regular consumption of the right foods or adequate supplementation, my patients begin to report very clear changes. First comes the improvement in mental clarity and concentration. You notice that you can focus better, that your reasoning flows more easily. Then you notice that you have fewer episodes of those embarrassing blanks or silly forgetfulness that left you frustrated. You feel more mental energy and willingness to perform complex tasks that previously seemed exhausting. And many patients also report a significant reduction in depressive symptoms and that mental confusion that seemed like a permanent fog. Do you know why this happens? Because finally your brain is receiving adequate blood flow through clean and unobstructed vessels, chronic inflammation decreases drastically, and your neurons stop dying prematurely. But I need to be very honest with you. This isn't instant magic. This is real biology. It's science working in your favor. You're literally rebuilding the protection of your brain cell by cell. And here's an important truth. The sooner you start this process, the greater the long-term protection will be. Every day that passes with deficiency is a day of damage that could have been avoided. Modern science is showing us with increasing clarity and with increasingly solid evidence that dementia isn't just genetics, it's not just luck or bad luck. Dementia can be prevented or at least significantly delayed in many cases, and vitamin K2 is one of the most powerful and most criminally ignored tools we have available. Studies published in the highest impact scientific journals like Alzheimer's and Dementia and Nutrients repeatedly confirm that people who maintain adequate levels of vitamin K2 after age 60 have visibly more protected brains on imaging tests, present fewer inflammation markers in blood tests, and have better cognitive performance on objective neuropsychological tests. This isn't an opinion. This isn't a fad. This is solid and replicable science. If you're over 60 years old, or if you're caring for someone you love in that age range, pay attention, because this may genuinely be the information that saves a mind, that preserves an identity, that maintains the autonomy of a person you love. Start today by including at least 2 or 3 of the foods I showed you. Buy quality Gouda cheese, add pasture-raised eggs at breakfast, try ghee butter. If it's very difficult to include these foods in your routine for any reason, whether due to access or taste, talk to your trusted doctor about vitamin K2 supplementation. And look, there's a specific form called MK7, which is the best bioavailable form for your body to absorb. Don't buy just any supplement on the internet without guidance. Find a professional who understands this. The difference between remembering and forgetting, between maintaining your independence or losing it, can literally be in a vitamin that nobody told you about until today. But now you know, now you're armed with knowledge, now you have the power to act and change your trajectory. Based on recent scientific evidence and on the clinical practice of thousands of documented cases around the entire world, vitamin K2 is completely rewriting what we know about dementia, prevention, and brain protection. Can you imagine the impact this information can have on your life and on the lives of the people you love? I want you to reflect with me for a moment. What you eat today, the choices you make at the supermarket today, the attention you give to these details today, all of that can literally define who you will be in 10, 15, 20 years. Do you want to be that lucid, independent person who remembers grandchildren, who tells stories, who maintains their essence? Or are you going to ignore this information and let chance decide? The choice is completely in your hands now. I want you to do something for me now. First, comment down below telling me if you already knew about vitamin K2 or if this was a total revelation for you. Second, share this video with someone you love who is over 60 years old, because you might literally be saving that person's memory. And third, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to receive more content like this, based on real science, that really makes a difference in your health. I'm Dr. Sophie Miller, and my mission is to bring you information that can transform your life. Take care of your brain today, because it's the only one you have. Until the next video, and remember, your health begins with knowledge and is completed with action.